Hello aspirants. Today we are going to discuss mental model 5 of GS4 ethics. So this mental model deals with the section 2 or section B of paper 4, right? So the mental model 5, the case study decision engine. This mental model is used to identify what are the area and how the case study has to be written to get the good marks in paper 4. So you should forget the coaching formats. UPSC case studies reward decision logic, not decoration. So please try to understand this thing. It is not all about the decoration of the answer. It is testing the decision logic. So you have to follow the logic and you have to verify with your skills. Okay. So first and foremost thing is you have to identify the stakeholders. Okay. If you find the case study in GS4 section B, then you have to see who all are involving in this case study. Okay, stakeholder mapping always includes citizen and institution. So whenever a case study is in front of you, you have to include citizens impact and institution impact. Okay, who all are getting impact due to this case studies or case studies decision, right? In the same way, ethical issues, not problems. Don't write the problems. You just quote ethical issues. What are the ethical issues involved in this case study? You have to get a clear idea, right? Use value language. Like we have discussed that in the first GS mental model 1, integrity, fairness, responsibility should be your prior value language, right? Then options with trade-offs, ethical gain or ethical cost. Never present a perfect option. So there is no perfect option in ethics, right? In the same way, the option plus justification. If you give a ethical cost option, you have to justify with your justification. Constitutional values can justify your ethical cost or ethical gain. Public interest can justify your ethical cost or ethical gain. In the same way, the long-term trust can be justify this ethical cost or ethical gain. Right? In the same way, the safeguards. How will you minimize harm? So it is not a case study is not all about eliminating the harm, but how you are going to minimize the harm is a major part of your case study's answer. And how you are going to ensure the transparency is a major thing, as well as prevent recurrence. So you should not rewrite the same sentence in other languages. So you can prevent recurrence by using this mental model. Okay. If you want a simple explanation about this thing and how you can write a step-by-step answer for the case studies, let us see. So UPSC is asking only one thing. Can you, that means a candidate can take good decision. Here, good, not perfect, right? A good decision when there is no perfect choice. Okay. Whenever there is a perfect choice, that is not a ethical dilemma or case studies. I hope you are getting my point. That's it. So let's apply step-by-step process for this answer writing theory. First, what we have discussed that stakeholder mapping, right? In stakeholder mapping, you have to identify who is affected, right? So always write these three things. No thinking needed. Just who all people. First one, common citizen. Then officials. That means government. Then in case studies, you will be assigned one role. So you as an officer or you as a delegate, as you as an observer, right? So these are the stakeholder effect. If you write these three, you are already above average, right? Who all are affecting by these things? You have to get a clarity. Then step 2. What values are at stake? You have to clearly mention what values are at stakes. Don't write a problem. Again, I am mentioning don't write a problem. Please use the simple words like honesty is at stake, integrity at stake, and fairness is at stake. So use such type of language because ethical language or value language is most important in the paper 4. So you should not use what simple language like this is the problem, this is the answer. So this should not be the thing. So you should not use the extreme type of language, right? So think like this. What good qualities are being tested here? What good qualities or good values are tested here through the case study? Okay. Then the step 3, what can I do? That means first you have identified who are affecting. Then you are identifying what values are conflicting. Then you are asking yourself what I can do. So very important rule is every option must have a good and bad. So whatever the things you are thinking to do or your thought process, like 1, 2, 3, each and every process have good as well as bad, right? So no option is perfect. This option, this option, this option. Every option have a good as well as bad. I hope you are getting the clarity, right? So option 1, let it be, let for example, option 1, follow rules strictly is the first option. What is good in this one? Law is protected, right? What is bad in this one? People may suffer, right? I hope you are getting clarity. Let us take option B. Be flexible and help people. What is good in this? Immediate relief, right? Here, rules may be weakened. I hope you are getting clarity. And in the same way, if you see option 3, balanced approach, that means what is good in this? What is good? Law plus humanity. Bad takes efforts, risk, criticism, and so on. So here, UPSC hates heroic answers. Like they like realistic thinking. So you should be very realistic in thinking in the paper 4. And in the next step, what you have to do is, all the things what we have did is the step 3. So when you come to the step 4, what you have to do? Step 4 is, what will I do? So the third step is, what can I do? You have 3 options and you know what is good and what is bad for all of the options. Now the fourth step is, what will I do? Choosing one, right? Now decide clearly. Don't sit on the fence, right? Right. I will choose option 1, 2, or 3. It is all about your options and it is all about your choice. But be careful that step 5 deals with why this option. So you should have a strong why. Okay, if you are selecting option 1, like you will abide by the rules and law will be protected. If you want to go with the choice, how you are going to substantiate that option 1 should be clear. So a very simple reason should be mentioned like this. Just say, it protects public interest. It respects law. It maintains human dignity. It keeps long-term trust in administration. You don't need any big quotes. Our constitution is equal to fairness plus dignity plus rule of law. I hope you are getting my point. Our constitution is equal to fairness plus dignity and rule of law. So number 1 formula is, people plus rule plus responsibility is equal to balanced decision. Exam golden rule is, yes, this person can be an officer. You will score well. I hope you are getting my point. So this should be the logical flow. Like people plus rules plus responsibilities, that is equal to balanced decision. So option 3 suits your answer the best. I hope you got a clear-cut idea about the mental model 5, the case study decision making. When it comes to the mental model 6, role morality model. I hope you are getting the things clearly. Okay. Model 6, role morality model. Hidden key to high marks. This is the most important model where you have to understand the core of it, right? UPSC reward answer that respect the role constraints. So whatever the role you are playing in the case study, that has to be clear to you. So it is checking your role constraints. Okay. The principle. As a civil servant, morality is exercised through duty, not despite it. Okay. So always anchor. You have to anchor your answer, or in a case study answer, you have to anchor with the law, with the procedure, with the institutional legitimacy. In the same way, but soften with the empathy, proportionality, and humanity has to be there. So this balance is what you call as ethical governance. So what do you mean by ethical governance? Ethical governance has to abide with the laws, procedure, and legitimacy, institutional legitimacy, by top with the empathy, proportionality, and humanity. That is what the ethical governance means. I hope you are getting my point. So if you want to apply this step-by-step process, let us see step 1. Before going into the step 1 process of this application, let us see why model 6 exists. Okay. Ethics is all about, or ethics of who you are while taking decisions or while deciding. I hope you are getting my point. Ethics of who you are while deciding. This is what the mental model 6 is dealing. Okay. Who you are while dealing and reflecting ethics. I hope you are getting my point. So why this model exists? So UPSC ethics does not test private morality. It is not testing your private morality. It is testing your public role morality. when you are in the society and when you are in public and you are acting as a public servant, then the UPSC is testing your public role morality. Okay. When you see the PYQs of the ethics, across PYQs and case studies, UPSC silently asking, does the candidate understand the civil servant ethics is exercised through duty? Civil servants exercise their duty, that public role morality. UPSC is testing public role morality. In the same way, UPSC is testing only one simple logic here. It is testing, does the candidate understand that civil servant ethics are exercised by duty or not? That's what he is testing. So, most candidates fail because they answers as a good human being. So, they will take a personal morality and they will showcase the personal morality in the answers. So, UPSC's expectation is not reaching here. So, this is the not a good answer to get a good score. In the same way, a social reformer, someone will write an answer with the social reformer mindset. So this is also not expectation of the UPSC. So this will also fail. And in the same way, the moral crusader, someone will write a moral crusader type of answer. This is also failed to get the UPSC expectations. I hope you are getting my point. So what really UPSC is expecting from the candidate is a constitutional functionary. UPSC is expecting a constitutional functionary. Without any breakdown of the constitutional functionaries, how you are going to conduct your duty is very important here, right? So the core idea of a role morality is ethics change with roles. I hope you are getting my point. Ethics changes with the roles, right? Private citizen ethics is not equal to civil servant ethics. Private citizen ethics is not equal to civil servant ethics. I hope you are getting my point. In the same way, a civil servant derives authority from constitution. Civil servant derive authority from constitution, right? In the same way, he is bound by law. He or she is bound by law, rules and procedures. Laws, rules and procedures. Must act impersonally yet humanly. He should act impersonally yet humanly. This is the major aim what ethics is expecting. Therefore, ethical action must respect institutional legitimacy. So, here the condition is he should be ethical, but in what form? Ethical actions must respect institutional legitimacy. I hope you are getting my point. Okay. Now, the next most important concept is core idea of role morality. As we discussed, ethics change with the role. What role morality means in practice? So, role morality requires balancing. This requires balancing, right? Aspect is here and the meaning is here. So, duty is one of the aspect of the moral role morality. That duty is laws, rules, and procedure, right? And here the next aspect is discretion. Discretion is all about judgment within limits, right? And the third aspect is humanity, is empathy without arbitrariness. Without arbitrariness. I hope you are getting my point. In practice, the duty has to follow law, rules and procedures, and discretion must be abide to judgment within limits, and humanity should give empathy without arbitrariness. These are the three combinations where role morality in practice applies. I hope you are getting my point. In the same way, fourth one is how UPSC tests role morality. Okay, from PYQ we will check. Okay, UPSC frame questions like, should a civil servant follow conscience or rules? Civil servant, conscience or rule. This is how the UPSC will check the question. Check this mental model. Can neutrality coexist with empathy? Can neutrality coexist with empathy? Right? How should a public servant act under political pressure? Public servant under political pressure, right? And the fifth one is how to apply model 6 in answers. Now the step-by-step process we will apply. Step 1, acknowledge role constraints, right? Start by affirming institutional duty. So you should start your answer with the affirming institutional duty. So what do you mean by institutional duty? Institutional duty is the duty has to be performed by the laws, rules and procedures, right? Very good. Then example is, as a civil servant, decision must be guided by constitutional values, legal provisions, and institutional procedures. This is the line where we can use. This immediately signals role clarity. So you are clarifying your constraints, right? First step we have it. Second step, introduce moral sensitivity. You just clearly introduce moral sensitivity, right? Now humanize the role. Okay. For example, at the same time, ethical governance requires sensitivity to human consequence of administration action. So, despite you are following rules, laws, and procedures, that procedures, laws, rules can conflict with the moral sensitivity of the public also. So, how you are balancing is a major role. So, by this line, you can introduce the moral sensitivity of the public. So, the line is, at the same time, ethical governance requires sensitivity to human consequence of administrative action. This shows you are not mechanical. I hope you are getting my point. You are not mechanical means if you follow strict rules, regulations, and procedures, you will become a mechanical. But when you are addressing a moral sensitivity of the public, then you are into the ethical mode. I hope you are getting my point. So you are acknowledging that we have a moral sensitivity also through the administration action, that how we can minimize that moral sensitivity is the matter to us. I hope you are getting my point. In the same way, step 3, don't oppose rules versus compassion. Don't oppose rules versus compassion. Show integration. How you are integrating these rules and compassion together without any conflict. That is the strategy of your answer. So example is, therefore, discretion should be exercised to humanize the law without undermining its authority. So this is the best line where you are showing the conflict of the rules versus compassion, but at last you are concluding with these things, right? Therefore, discretion should be exercised to humanize the law. So we have 3 things, right? What is the duty? Then second one is discretion. Then third one is humanity. So when you are performing a duty according to the law, rules, and procedure, that should be followed with the discretion, where judgment within the limits can be lead to the humanity. That is your major concept here. I hope you are getting my point. So step 3, you are opposing the rules. You should not oppose the rules versus rules with the compassion, but you have to integrate rule and compassion through the discretion. I hope you are getting my point. That discretion is within the limit. Okay. So this line alone is a 7-mark logic. This step 3, when you integrate rule and compassion, and you are showcasing the real problem, and you are going to balance the law as well as the moral sensitivity. I hope you are getting my point. So by this step 3, you will write a great answer, and where you can fetch the at least 7 marks answer. Application in case studies. This mental model application in case studies is like this. I will help the poor person even if it violates rules. Then this is very weak, or this won't get you good marks. But instead of this, if you rewrite with a balanced approach like this, I would act within legal provisions to provide relief while ensuring transparency and institutional accountability. This is the language where you have to start practicing to write a best answer in ethics. I hope you are getting my points. Okay. Why this such kind of models can fetch you good marks is, it is examiner concern is role morality, right? He want role morality show. So this model shows that abuse of power is prevented. For this, you can tick mark. Okay. Arbitrariness is avoided, right? In the same way, institutional erosion is avoided, right? In the same way, you are maintaining ethical maturity is demonstrated. I hope you are getting my point. So from this, I can conclude that if you follow strictly with this framework, how to write an ethics answer with these 6 mental models, you will have a very good edge over the other aspirants. I hope you got a clarity by this session. Thank you.